A fantastic day, dear children. I feel immense pleasure in welcoming you back to the English Corner. Today, our topic is going to be, yes, grammar. Children, why grammar is important? In any language, not only in English, in Tamil, in Hindi, whatever language it is, grammar is important. Why we are saying grammar is important here? That is what we are going to discuss in 2-3 slides. Then we will go into a small topic called noun. Okay, this is what is the agenda today. Shall we know? Right? Learn. What is the role of grammar in a language? See, grammar includes so many rules and regulations for writing, for speaking, okay, all these. So, we feel it is important part of language as an English teacher. But when I see from the public side, they'll know, okay, they'll speak very colloquial language and they'll ask why grammar is important. Why it is without grammar also we can speak nicely. Why and how to speak is much more important, isn't it? Why to speak and how to speak, when to speak, what to speak, all these, if you raise these questions before speaking, before writing, then you will get an answer, right? If that answers are communicated properly, then you are the best writer, you are the best speaker. Written and spoken languages in a proper way, communication in a proper way, everything will be dealt with grammar, right? So, grammar includes the rules for correct writing and speaking. An important part of learning, but to learn how to speak is much more important. So, grammar guides us how language should be written or how a language should be spoken in a proper way. So, these includes instruction, how a language has to be used correctly. I am not talking about English alone. Whatever languages it may be Tamil, it may be Hindi, or it may be Telugu, Malayalam, whatever language it is a part of grammar to include and to give us instructions of how to use that language in a proper way, okay, right? So, grammar gives us clarity. So, one reason why grammar has to be used is it creates clarity. Have you ever read something which had not given a clue, or it was trying to say something but it was not at all clear? So, I struck in between, right? You are getting confused. So, this is what is not clarity. One reason why grammar matters is because it creates clarity. So, it will give you a proper information. The instruction should be proper, then only it will reach the other end. If something is not clear, then we don't know what to do. Okay, suppose for example, we are preparing for online exam, right? You will be in confusion how to write, how the question paper will be, how we have to enter, whether we have to type in, all the questions has to come, or how we have to write, if ma'am asked formal letter or informal letter, how I will write. All these puzzles will be there in your mind, okay, if the information is not clear. If we clarify all the doubts, then you will have a clear-cut idea of what to do, how to do, when to do. Okay, what to do. Whatever you are writing should be clear. whatever you are speaking should be delivered properly so that the audience can able to understand you in a better way. For that reason, grammar is very, very important. I promise you children, if you are thorough with the basics of grammar, then your instruction, your way of speaking, your way of writing will be definitely different from others who doesn't know grammar. Okay, shall we move to the next? Do you understand what clarity is? So, second use of grammar is it avoids ambiguity. Children, what is ambiguity, children? Take dictionary. Now, refer to the meaning of ambiguity and tell me during live session. Using correct grammar helps to avoid ambiguity. So, here, let's eat grandma. This is a small sentence. It is a phrase actually. It is not a sentence, not a complete sentence. What is the difference between phrase and a sentence? Yes? Very good. Phrase is a part of a sentence. A sentence should have subject, verb and an object. But here, let's eat grandma. Subject is not present, but it is a part of a sentence which gives us meaning. So, let's eat grandma. So, here you can see let's eat, comma and grandma. If you forget comma, if the comma is not there, that means what? Let's eat grandma. What you are trying to say? Let's eat. This is one part. Let's eat. Okay. Come, let's eat. Grandma. She or he is calling grandma to sit together and eat. Here the second part. Let's eat grandma. You are going to eat grandma now. We will eat idli, dosa, chapati, puri, all etc. etc. But here we will never eat grandma. Although this example is so ridiculous, laughable, right? Ridiculous, what is the meaning? That also you underline, check in your dictionary and say to me. So ridiculous that you probably wouldn't make a mistake in understanding. Because this is a small sentence, we will understand it clearly. But if it is a complicated one which we doesn't know, there we will make mistakes. So, does show how the lack of correct grammar can change the meaning completely. Let's eat. Come, let's eat together. Grandma, grandma, come here. We will eat together. That is what is the meaning of the first sentence. The second sentence, let's eat grandma, is all are going to sit and eat grandma. Grandma itself we are going to eat. So bad, horrible. Visualizing itself it's horrible. Okay. So that is what is the main part of grammar. Now you could have understood exactly what grammar is and how grammar plays an important role in our writing part and speaking part, right? One comma is changed, the whole meaning of the sentence is changed, right? Right. We'll move to the introduction of nouns now. Shall we? Right. We will see about nouns and the types of nouns. From first standard onwards, we are learning about nouns. When I ask you a question, what is a noun? Definitely, everyone, 100% of the students will say the answer that it is the name given to a thing, person, object, or feeling, whatever it is. Example is given here, so many examples you will say Ram, man, dog, book, tree, light, etc. Okay. So, nouns are names of people, places, animals, things. When we are young, when I am in 7th standard, I played a game, name, place, things. Even I am seeing children playing now, even now in classes, right? Names, place, things. Have you heard of this game? Small activity. If I start with the letter A, okay, then name has to be in A, place has to be in A, things has to be in A, right? For example, what is it? I am going to select E, right? Name is Elizabeth, then place is Europe, things, E for what? Empty box? No. Empty here acts as an adjective. Then what is E? Kana, fast, help me out. E for elephant. Elephant is an animal and it is not a thing. So when you are not writing the thing named E, then you will get -1 mark. Okay. So name I wrote as Elizabeth, place I told as Europe, things in E I didn't get, so I will get only 2 marks, so -1 mark. Okay, totally 3 marks are there. So we will 3 points for that. So we will add up the point and we will find out who is the winner. This is a game we will play in our school days. Here also you will play, isn't it? So what for this game is useful for us? This game is helping a lot to know about nouns. That is the reason why this game was designed. Even I used to allow my children in lunch break to play this game. Okay, this will develop a very good knowledge about nouns and we will learn new words also. You try it out once, right? With your brother or sister or with your parents, whoever it is, you can play that game, right? Will you? And tell me the response. Next, we will go on to types of nouns. So, types of nouns, you all know: proper noun, common noun, collective noun and abstract noun at present. But so many other nouns are there. We will go deep into one by one. Now, what are the topics? Proper noun, common noun, collective noun and abstract noun. Now, I am going in deep into the next types of nouns. Shall we? Yes, common noun, proper noun, collective noun, abstract noun and one more noun, material noun is added here. So now the kinds of noun became 5. Previously it was 4 and now it was 5 and next it will grow again. Yes, it's growing. So now types of nouns has become so many. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Types of nouns has become 8. Isn't it? First we saw only 4. What are they? Common noun, proper noun, then collective noun and abstract noun. Then we saw one more noun, common noun, proper noun, collective noun, abstract noun and material noun. Now we are going to see common noun, proper noun, countable noun, uncountable noun, concrete noun, abstract noun, compound noun and collective noun. Shall we see all these one by one? Yes, in the next session we are going to see the types of nouns. Okay, dear.